the app. Happy to bring in the coach of perhaps the best basketball team in the city of Sacramento.
Straight up.
Coach, we've been anxious to have you here on this show for a while. This is Coach Mark Campbell, the head coach of the Sac State women's basketball program. Coach, what's happening?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We've been eager to have you on, man. We've been following your Hornets team all season long. They're 11-2 here so far. And one thing that you and Coach Patrick have, Coach is kind enough to join us every week. Man, you guys got a real strong international vibe to these teams that you're building over there at Sac State.
No doubt. Basketball has become a global game. And obviously in the NBA and the WNBA, that's evident. I mean, shoot, in the NBA right now, the best players are international. Giannis and Luka, Joel Embiid. So it's a global game. And me and DP, from all of our travels and our different stops that we've had on our journey, we've been heavily involved in recruiting kids from all over the globe. And it's helping both of our programs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach, a lot of people may not be familiar with you. You know, here in Sacramento, you haven't been here that long. You're doing a great job since you've been here. But, I mean, give us a little bit about your journey and where you were at and what got you all the way here to Sacramento State.
Yep. Well, I'll start originally. Me and DP were assistant coaches together on the men's side at St. Mary's College. And so that's when me and DP and our paths crossed. And we got to work for Randy Bennett and learn from him. And that's really where the Australian pipeline started. And so that was my first chance to really learn the industry was from Randy. And he's been there now 20 years and has run a high-level program. And then I ended up having two daughters and kind of took a big leap of faith. And I went from St. Mary's. My last year was when Matthew Dellavedova and Patty Mills were at St. Mary's, and a close family friend got the head women's job at Oregon State, and called me out of the blue and asked if I had any interest in switching to the women's side. And I'm from Seattle. My wife's from Portland, and decided to make a leap of faith and switch to the women's side. I've never coached women's basketball before that at any level. And so we inherited a program at Oregon State that had one player on scholarship. Program had imploded from the previous coaching staff. And we built a Final Four team from scratch there. And it was a great learning experience. In comparison to Pac-12 levels, Oregon State's kind of a tricky job. Corvallis, small college town. You don't quite have the same resources that some of the other schools have. And so got to cut our teeth and learn. And from there, opportunity came at the University of Oregon. Kelly Graves went over from Gonzaga, built a great program, and we took over a program at Oregon that was 4-26 the year before we got hired. And we were able to build, at that time, we had the number one team in the country the year COVID hit. And so I think it took 5 years to go from a 4-win program to the best team in college basketball. Now I say that we didn't get a play for the NCAA tournament. We didn't play in a Final Four because of COVID, but that team was rolling through the country, smashing teams.
Yeah.
And then
real quick, Coach, for those that didn't do the math with Oregon, you were there with one of the hottest players, who still is one of the hottest players in the women's game, in Sabrina Ionescu. You were coaching her.
Yep, Sabrina. So I was the first college coach to find her. So her going into her freshman year of high school that summer was recruiting a player on her AAU team. And so she was on the young team, and the player I was recruiting was on the top team. And a very close friend of mine that runs a pro was like, hey, I got this youngster. Just, if there's games where you have time, come check out this youngster. So that was Sabrina. And at the time, not in a million years, did you go watch this kid and go, that kid's going to lead college basketball in career triple doubles. Or she's going to be the number one draft pick. It was nothing like that. She was swimming in her jersey, little kid, but she had her competitive spirit, her IQ, but that was it. so I would watch her, and then just her journey slowly unfolded year by year. And so she ended up being the number one player in the country out of high school. And at that time, Oregon, we still hadn't even made an NCAA tournament when she committed to us. And so she took a huge leap of faith. But as she came, the Oregon program kind of blew up. And so we ended up having our that year we had the number one team in the country. We had the number 1, the number 2, and the number 10 draft picks that year. And so then after the Oregon situation, and I got all sorts of stories from my time there that were fun, but the Sacramento State job opened up. Mark Orr, our athletic director here, was the same athletic director for me and DP when we were at St. Mary's. And so the first thing is that this whole deal is about people. Just completely trusted Mark and his vision for what he wanted to do for Sac State athletics. And he sold me on that, and I believed him. And then when you studied it, the football team was getting momentum. The baseball program's been elite for a long time. And then came down here and studied it. And the city of Sac's beautiful. And so as you're starting to peel back the layers, man, you just saw all sorts of potential here. And so decided to move from Oregon to here. And now we're about a year and a half in.
I'm gonna tell you, Coach. I was talking about you the other day, Coach. I'm first of all, I'm setting up your first tournament game because y'all gonna make the tournament. I'm setting up your first tournament game. It's gonna be Sac State versus Duke.
Oh,
I've already set that up, and I've talked, Coach. I've talked to the head coach of Duke, and I
Coach Lawson.
I know her. I know her pretty well, and she says you're man, you're a star in this industry.
Oh, I don't know about that. She's awesome. Did you get to know her when she was with the Monarchs?
I did. Yeah, I did. I got to know her pretty well. Yeah. Followed her career pretty closely.
She's the rock star. What she did as a player at Tennessee, and then her different life experiences that she's had through basketball, with USA basketball, with the NBA. She's crushing it at Duke. And which is no surprise. And they got this year, they're off to a phenomenal start. And I wish it was that easy that you could just pencil us into the NCAA tournament. We just got to figure out how to beat Eastern Washington tomorrow.
There you go. That's coach speak right there. Because Kara, you say, oh, Duke's off to a great start. Don't tell her that. She's like, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. And she's just like you. And that's those are coaches' mentalities. We just got to figure out a way to win the next game.
Absolutely.
No doubt. The journey of a season is fragile. It truly is. And you guys follow the Kings so closely, right? If Sabonis ends up having a thumb injury where he's out for a month, it changes the whole dynamic of that team. And so seasons are fragile. And you truly got to take it one game at a time. And an injury here can change the course of your whole season. And then just with personalities and managing all that, for us, it's young kids, 18 to 22-year-olds that are navigating life. They got a lot going on. So I remind our team all the time and our staff, but seasons are fragile.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, man, you guys 11-2, absolutely killing it this year. Did you see this coming with this group? I mean, you look at the team, it's a team effort, but you got the dynamic duo at the point guard spot and in the center, and they are big time there. But, everybody is in there playing their role and doing a great job at their role. Did you see this type of success coming with this group?
No, because we have 9 new players. There's only 3 kids that played on our team last year. And so that's so many new pieces, personalities, game. Now you're recruiting and you're trying to put the puzzle together. And, but there's a lot that has to go right. So Kalasia Dean, our point guard who came to us for her 5th year, she's from Bakersfield. She never played point guard in college basketball. She was a shooting guard at Oakland, all 4 years. And studying film, you saw the gift that she had, but she wasn't put in position to play in pick and roll. She wasn't put in position to be a lead guard, a playmaker. And so You see some stuff that you hope she can do it once we put her into the spread pick and roll, but you don't know. And then you're studying video, but on video, you can't tell someone's personality. You can't understand their leadership qualities. You can't understand their competitive. You got to be in the trenches with someone. So there's stuff that you're taking educated guesses as you're putting this puzzle together. That's one example. And she's been beyond what we could have hoped for. She's a monster. Her
leading scorer, right?
Leading scorer, has never played point guard in college basketball. And she's playing 40 minutes a game on an 11-2 team. And everything goes through her. Last year we had Liana Tillman that was a league MVP. Same thing. She showed up, had 1 year, and crushed it. And so you didn't know how she'd get plugged in, but she's done great. And then our center, Izzy, you guys, her story is bananas. Izzy played, I think she played about 14 minutes a game at junior college. Averaged like 7 points, 4 rebounds. Okay. She's emerged as one of the best centers in college basketball right now. Yeah. I think she's 4th in the country in field goal percentage. She was leading the country in field goal percentage for a long time, but you're working with these youngsters, but you don't know how quickly they're going to progress and develop and whatnot. So now I didn't see 11-2 coming, but I do know we were starting to assemble the pieces that all were starting to complement each other.
Katie and Izzy is that Fox Sabonis combo.
It really is.
100%.
They took over the game last night. I mean, it was a problem. I'm watching the game, and first they want to let Izzy go one-on-one. I was like, okay, well, we'll just give her the ball 50 times tonight if you're going to let her go one-on-one.
Yep.
Then they tried to double, and she hits the open cutter numerous times. She's a problem down there. And then obviously KD took over and did what she did.
Yeah, that's our deal. We which is really DP's running a similar system. It's from our St. Mary's days. But if you have a true center like Sabonis, like Izzy, they're a load down there, and somewhat the defense has to figure out what they want to do with those kids. Are you going to double? Are you going to front? Are you going to play behind? And then so they got to figure out that riddle, and then you bring the spread pick and roll. Last year we led the country in pick and rolls. And so you better have your pick and roll defense dialed in because there's 50 of those coming. And so it's a great balance. And then we got shooters all around Izzy and KD. And so far it's been a hard riddle for people to solve.
Coach, we are locked into what you guys are doing this season, man. It's fun watching you. It's fun watching the men and Coach Patrick, man. We wish you the best, and I assure you we're locked in rest of the way, and we'll be anxious to talk to you before that tournament run.
You guys, man, keep helping us. We got to get this nest buzzing.
It's getting there. I'm around town, man, and people are talking. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Coach. People are talking about what you guys are doing. Obviously, what the men are doing now, but just the symmetry between the programs at Sac State. It has people buzzing. They getting in there. I've been in the nest a couple of times. Saw you guys against Bakersfield and how you guys kind of backhanded them all over the place like you've done in other teams. You guys are creating a buzz around here, man. You guys are doing the job. People are going to start coming in there. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you guys. It's pretty cool, too. We're kind of similar paths with the Kings right now between DP and the Kings and us. There's kind of a basketball renaissance. It's it's kind of emerging right at the same time.
Yeah.
Basketball is hot right now.
It's a basketball scene.
And because we don't have the Sacramento Monarchs, we don't have that professional women's sports team to follow. Sac State Hornets women's basketball is where we need to be. That's where it's at.
I need to be at the tournament game. It's happening, man.
Oh yeah,
it's happening.
We're doing tournament game. We're doing that.
Let's go.
Hey, you guys can say that. I'm going to talk about the Eastern Washington Eagles.
Go beat Eastern Washington, Coach. Go do that, and we'll handle the rest.
You guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.